G'day, it's Corrector Sky. Today we're looking at our top 5 for the ASX Exchange Traded Funds. Daily Horizon View. The date is the 28th of the 3rd, 2000. Today's spotlight is the VAP on the ASX, which is the Vanguard Australia Property Securities Index. Stick around or just feel free to jump straight to it. It's an interesting little chat today, so yeah, hopefully you stick around for that one. So a quick overview of the markets, pretty much everything in the green. Biggest movers was consumer discretionary. We closed up 0.36% at 62.56. As you can see, commodities were all down effectively. Copper, no change, and aluminium up by 1.3%. So our top 5 percentage rises. GEAR, which is the Beta Shares Australia Equity Fund, which is geared, obviously. MVW is the VanEck Vectors Australia Equity Weighted ETF. IDH is the iShares S&P ASX Dividend Opportunity. OZR, which is the State Street Spider S&P ASX 200 Resources Fund. HVST, which is the Beta Shares Australia Harvest Fund. That's a managed fund. That one's designed to produce regular income from dividends and franking credits from Australian shares. They're trying to produce roughly double the income yield of the broader market out of that one. That's an interesting one if you're looking for monthly an income stream on a monthly basis. So our top 5 percentage falls, we had ETMPD, IHEB, IHHY, HAC, and TEC. So we had a 7.32% fall in the physical palladium ETF. IHEB's our iShares JP Morgan US dollar emerging markets bond, and that was down 2.5%. IHHY, which is the iShares Global High Yield Bond, that was down as well, just under 2%. We had HAC, that was down, so that's iShares Global Cybersecurity ETF, so that tracks all the cybersecurity plays globally, down 1.5%. Then we had TEC, which is the ETF's Morningstar Global Technology ETF, and that was down just below 1.5%. Top $5 rises. We had A200, VAS, VHY, MVW, IJR. A200, as most people know, is the Beta Shares Australia 200 ETF. Then we had VAS, which is the Vanguard Australia Sharing Index. VHY is the Vanguard Australia High Yield ETF. Good one for chasing some yield for that one. MBW is the VanEck Vectors Australia Equal Weight ETF. And we had IJR, which is the iShares S&P Small Cap 600. Really 0.69%. So I mean, really, there's not a great deal of upward momentum there, and the volume all looks relatively low. Top $5 falls. What do we have today? Should see these similarities between the top 5 percentage falls. So we've got our physical platinum ETF, ETP MPD, that was obviously down quite a lot in percentage terms and also in dollar terms. IVV, which is the iShares S&P 500 ETF, we had that one down $4.29, relatively low volume for that ETF. IHEB, which is the iShares JP Morgan US Dollar Emerging Markets Bonds. IHHY, as mentioned before, is the iShares Global High Yield Bond ETF. And IHVV is the iShares S&P 500, and that's hedged to the Australian dollar. Top 5 number of trades. Expecting to see all the familiar faces here, all the larger end of the ETF town. STW, which is the State Street Spider S&P ASX 200 fund. That one's designed to provide low portfolio turnover, accurate tracking of the index, and at low cost. It's one of the lower cost ETFs in the market. Roughly $3.6 billion value for that ETF. Then we had VAS, which is the Vanguard Australia Share Index ETF, which tracks the ASX 300. VGS, we had, that's the Vanguard MSCI Index International Shares. So it's got a big portfolio in that one. IVV, which is mentioned before, is the iShares S&P 500 ETF. We had VAP, which is a Vanguard Australian Property Share Security Index. Volumes all reasonably standard. STW had 281 trades done today, maybe marginally above normal, but not a great deal. Top 5 volume, expecting to see very similar names again. STW, which is State Street Spider S&P ASX 200. MVW, which is the VanEck Vectors Australia Property ETF. So people looking for some exposure to property. NDQ, which is the B-Shares Nasdaq 100 ETF. So that ETF includes 100 of the largest US and international non-financial companies listed on the Nasdaq. So that ETF even has like PepsiCo and companies like that because they're listed on the Nasdaq, not New York Stock Exchange. VGS, which is the Vanguard MSCI Index International Shares. That's ex-Australia. We had FLOT, which is the VanEck Vectors Australia Floating Rate ETF. So looking for our value. So we have STW, VGS, VAS, IVV, IEM. Quite a lot of value went through STW today, almost 13 million. And the rest were fairly standard looking. Moving on to our spotlight on VAP on the ASX, which is the Vanguard Australia Property Securities Index ETF. So VAP seeks to track the return of the S&P ASX 300 A-REIT index before taking into account all the fees and expenses and all the taxes and everything that goes with it. The ETF provides a low-cost way to invest in property securities listed on the Australian Securities Exchange. This ETF has quite a diversified portfolio, so retail, office, industrial, and whatnot. So the ETF offers potential long-term capital growth and tax-effective income that may include a tax-deferred component. The potential for this investment would be suitable for a buy and hold type investor. So So seeking long-term capital growth, some tax-effective income, and a higher tolerance for the risk associated with the share market volatility. So it benefits investing just more broadly with Vanguard. Their investment approach provides investors with an effective way to capture long-term market performance because their fees are quite low. The fund invests in a diversified portfolio of securities, so the fund's less exposed to the performance of fluctuations of individual securities. The fund has as mentioned before, has low ongoing fees, and the Vanguard, one of their mantras is reducing costs of managing and operating the fund. Let's show this. So the net asset value as of today's date was $89.55. So as we can see, it's trading below the net asset value at $89.36 as of the close of the market today. Very low management costs at 0.23%. Fantastic distribution frequency quarterly, January, April, July, October. Wonderful yield at 9.35%. One of the top ones in the ASX. In my opinion, this is one of the better property investments options in the ETF market on the ASX, as it's delivered high yield and a strong share appreciation over the longer term. Another option to VAP, if you're looking for another one, quite possibly could be SLF, so have a look at that one in the future as part of your research. Just check up the performance. So since inception, the net asset value has risen by 12.29% over the life. So I think accumulated share appreciation is over 150%. So definitely something to have a look at. This one performed quite well over the time. Just our little disclaimer, we always need to do our own research and take our own financial situation into account when we're researching and looking for different products in the market. So we are an information machine for you guys to crack your own financial sky. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah. So just give us a like and be great for a subscribe. Or if there's any other ETFs that you want me to have a look at, I can go deeper into some of these things. I can go lighter, whatever. Let us know.